The smug smile of a winning Aston Villa. What a performance from the lads. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1. So much to talk about in this game, but my overriding feeling this evening is of relief, and I'm overjoyed we got that win. Absolutely over the moon. It was the one that was really, really worrying me. 3 games to go. We need to win all 3. We know what we have to do. But with the Spurs and the Manchester United games coming up, with their involvement in the Europa League final, we can hope that they will have their eye off the ball for the last 2 games, and neither of those are in good form either, particularly in the league. So the Bournemouth game was a huge game, and historically, we haven't done very well down there. So just a really fantastic victory. Watched it, some of it behind me, my settee, especially towards the end. I just kept thinking back at the home game against Bournemouth when we were 1-0 up with only seconds to go and they managed to nick an equaliser. I mean, it's so nearly happened again. We'll get into the game in a minute. Just over the moon, absolutely over the moon for them all, for Unai Emery, for the players, the coaching staff, everybody that's had anything to do with this team this season. This is a phenomenal achievement. European football guaranteed for the 3rd season in a row. I think the last time we did it was under the Martin O'Neill days. You cannot underestimate how difficult it is to qualify for Europe when you haven't got European football. And we have navigated through a really difficult, challenging, physically, mentally challenging Champions League campaign all the way to the quarterfinal stages, whilst keeping a focus, as Unai Emery has said from day one of this season, on the Premier League. He knows this is the important competition. Yes, we all want to win a trophy. We would have loved to have gone into the FA Cup final next weekend, but the Premier League is the bread and butter. It is where we have to keep our focus all the way through the season. And it is a sapping competition against 19 quality teams who won't give you a minute in any of the games. So to qualify 3 seasons in a row, but for the last 2 seasons, potentially Champions League qualification now is a real possibility again, whilst navigating through a Champions League campaign and going to the latter stages of the FA Cup, is just sensational. Just sensational. So hats off to everybody at Aston Villa, all the players, the management, everything. I just cannot emphasise how proud I am this evening of this team and what they have achieved over the last 3 seasons. It is incredible. And whatever happens in the final 2 games, we have had a brilliant season. Brilliant season. Nobody can tell me that we haven't. Semi-finals of the FA Cup, quarter-finals of the Champions League, and a European qualification via the league. Absolutely brilliant. We are in special times with this manager and this playing squad, and we have to enjoy it. So let's take a little look at the league table, shall we? We'll just take that off. So this is what it does for the league table. Surprising result earlier in the day with Manchester City only drawing away at Southampton. Puts them on 65 from 36 points, from 36 games, sorry. Newcastle play Chelsea tomorrow, who are the 2 teams directly above us. So that will be very interesting. I am sort of racking my brains to think, which way do we want that to go? Part of me thinks a draw would be a good result, but then when you think if one of the teams wins, that means the other team can't get to 70 points. So with Chelsea still playing Forest at the last game of the season, I suppose A Newcastle win wouldn't be too bad at all either. That would put Chelsea on 63 with 2 games to go, and they could only get 69, same as us, with a very difficult trip to the City ground at the last game of the season. So, yes, anything tomorrow is a bonus because somebody's going to drop points, possibly both of them. So we'll just see how that one plays out. The Forest game is intriguing to me because I genuinely think that Leicester could do something there tomorrow. They are already relegated. Obviously, they are close neighbours to Forest, and they would love nothing more than to throw a spanner in the works of Forest's European quest. So I wouldn't rule out a strange result there tomorrow. I mean, nobody would have said that Southampton would have got anything today from Manchester City. So let's keep our eye on that one. Just take a quick look at this. This is the form in the Premier League over the last 10 games. That is unbelievable form from Aston Villa. Just ridiculous. Not only are we racking up points consistently, but we have also seemingly somehow addressed our defensive problems from earlier in the season. In that top bracket of teams that are in form in the league, we've only conceded 9 goals in 10 games, which I think is pretty good. And we've played some tough games at some tough places. Brentford, Brighton away, Bournemouth away today, Newcastle we've played. So we've played some tough teams. So that is lovely to see. Absolutely lovely to see that we've maintained that form throughout a really intense period of the season with European quarterfinals and the semi-final of the FA Cup thrown in the middle. So on to the game. I thought the first half was tight, tense. I thought we approached it probably the best way we could. We were never going to be gung ho. We was never going to throw the kitchen sink at them. We was always going to sit off, play our usual style, our usual way, and I think that was the right thing to do. I always think getting in at 0-0 at half time is perfect in any away game. So to nick the goal right at the death of the first half was just sensational. You know, what a time to score that is. And I think, if I'm honest, we deserved the goal. I think we deserved to be in the lead. Bournemouth didn't cause us too many problems going forward. I thought we defended really well. Mings in at the back and Luca Dean back. I thought that was the right choice. And let's just take a minute to revel in this brilliant achievement from Ollie Watkins. Aston Villa's all-time leading goal scorer. 75 goals in 182 matches. That's a goals per match of 0.41. It is a phenomenal achievement. You know, second place, 74 goals in 322 games. I mean, for me, it's not even a comparison. The only person that was close in goals per games ratio would have been Dwight York with 60 in 179. So 75 in 182 in this era when the Premier League is so competitive. And he takes some sticks sometimes, Ollie Watkins, and he's not the perfect player. It's hard to be the perfect all-round player, isn't it? But he has been on an incredible journey with Aston Villa since the day he signed. He's always given his all. He's always been a brilliant player to have in the squad. And he's achieved so much with Aston Villa. And I am incredibly proud that he's an Aston Villa player, and what he's achieved for Villa is brilliant. And I am over the moon that he has finally got there and has become Aston Villa's all-time leading Premier League goal scorer. And I saw this picture just before I came on. This is in the dressing room after the game. you can see what it means to him. You can see what it means to Ollie Watkins. They're all chuffed to bits for him to be in the squad, in and amongst. You can see how much they love each other's company. They know how much this win means. They know how much that goal means to Ollie Watkins. So I can't tell you how chuffed I am for him to achieve this. At whatever happens in the summer, whatever happens in the rest of his career, that can't be taken away from him now. And it'll probably take some time and some player to take that away and become Villa's next all-time Premier League goal scorer. So congratulations, Ollie, George, Arthur Watkins. Absolutely brilliant. So then we go into the second half, and it was a bit of a nothing half for me, and I was absolutely over the moon with that. I was more than happy for that second half to be the most boring game of football I have ever seen in my life. And it would just peter out into nothing and just be boring as hell. But typical Villa, we couldn't get there without a bit of drama, could we? And to have Jacob Ramsey sent off, for me, I thought it was a terrible decision. At least one of those yellow cards wasn't a yellow card for me. And I thought he was bitterly, bitterly unlucky to be sent off in that game. And with 10 minutes to go, couldn't have come at a worse time, could it? But we defended stoutly after that. We backs against the wall. I thought the substitutions were good. I thought McGinn came on at the right time to give us that extra impetus of energy in the middle of midfield, the combativeness that he adds to the team. The substitution of Tyrone Mings for Pau Torres was a very interesting one. When I saw Pau coming on, I genuinely thought we were going to go to 5 at the back. But no, Tyrone Mings' number came up, and it was a brave substitution, I think I'm going to call it, because if he hadn't have held on, then that is the stick he would have been beaten with at the end of the game. Why did you take Mings off when we were, hadn't conceded? But I think it was a calculated risk, a calculated gamble from the manager to bring on a player that we all know is probably slightly more comfortable on the ball than Tyrone. And I think that was the idea of bringing him on, to bring just a bit of calmness to the back. And I think it worked. I think he did really, really well. And we'll give a shout out. And I think I shouted out more than the goal right at the death when Matty Cash, to be honest, when the ball came in, I thought the defender had just misheaded it. But when they showed the replay again, my God, that is some clearance from Matty Cash. And I've been saying it now for 2 or 3 weeks, probably longer than that, and probably the last month. Matty Cash's form has improved a lot in the last few weeks. And he really, really deserved that, because he was very good again tonight. Very good. So I think all in all, it was a great performance. Perfectly sets us up now for the last 2 games. We've put the pressure on the 2 teams directly above us, and Forest now, who we sit above, tomorrow to go and get results. So they now have got to go and get those results. We've got the points. They're in the bag. We're off home now from Bournemouth, and we can sit back and watch what happens and unfolds tomorrow. Then we face Tottenham next Friday at Villa Park. So that'll be very interesting. But overall, tonight, brilliant performance, fantastic result. Brilliant from the away fans. I thought they were great. And everybody that's travelled down there, safe journey home. Thank you, Unai. Thank you to the boys. And we'll leave you with Ollie Watkins, Aston Villa's record goal scorer. Up the Villa.